Diggity dog, is it really that time of the year? You know, that time when, I've got quite literally nothing to talk about. Some of you who've been here know what's coming. Although, well, all of you know what's coming because you read the title. I don't know. Anytime I say I don't know what to talk about, that means it's that time of the season. It's time to exhume this cold, unblinking corpse of a series, douse it in some moonshine, whip it awake, and act like I haven't done this 5 times before, because, my friends, it's time for the 5 biggest unsolved mysteries in lore thus far, part. Okay, well, we can start now. Question 30. What happened to the last 6th of abyssal power? My friends, it's well known at this point that in Khaenri'ah, the Traveler's sibling acted as a vessel for mass abyssal power, and when the sinners decided to go rogue, they divided up the abyssal power within the sibling amongst themselves.
They could not resist the call of the abyss, and divided among themselves a power that could destroy the world.
Yes, we knew that the great abyssal power within her had been divided up.
Again, this is all well known, but what isn't well known, and what was just revealed to us, is how that power was divided. My friends, among the 5 sinners, the abyssal power was divided 6 ways. In a conversation between Skirk and Sertology, Skirk remarks, quote, "Master, since you mentioned that your group once divided enough abyssal power amongst yourselves to overturn an entire world, or at least a 6th of it, and it's here the mystery lies. If each sinner received equal amounts of abyssal power, then who got the last 6th? This mystery becomes all the more interesting when you remember the 5 sinners were once the 6 greats of Khaenri'ah, alongside none other than Dainsleif himself.
6 of us. Together. We should have been the ones to prevent the disaster.
While it's highly unlikely Dane has the last 1/6 of abyssal power, all ruling him out does is make shorter an already extremely short list of names. Barring there's a figure we don't know about yet, the only real candidate at this time for who could have the last 6th would be the sibling themselves, given we've seen they're capable of wielding abyssal power. However, there's a problem with this. If 1/6 of the abyssal power the sinners received were world-shattering in nature and enough to make them transcendental beings, then how is the sibling weaker than Dainsleif?
I didn't expect that after everything, he would still hesitate to raise his sword against me. Were it not for that, perhaps I'd still be no match for the Twilight Sword. Even after 500 years.
But if the sibling isn't in possession of it, then who has that last 6th of abyssal power? The answer to that question remains blows. Close. The 29th greatest mystery in the African kingdom of the Dominican Republic of the Congo. Dominican Republicans, huh? Good for them. How did a witch of the Hexen Circle, Nicole, become a human? Now this one is odd. We over here have long speculated that Nicole was once a Seelie.
Like Celestia.
One thing that heavily ties Nicole to the, I shouldn't say heavily, but just ties Nicole to the Zeelie race, is their shared love for guiding people. The Zeelies were once envoys of the heavens, guiding humanity to live better, and although they are no longer capable of this, even in their reduced forms, they still guide humanity. And Nicole is noted by Alice as someone who also loves guiding people.
And thanks to Skirk's voice lines, we may have just gotten confirmation of that fact, but that wasn't all she revealed.
I wonder if becoming human was an evolution or regression to her. How did it feel, witnessing the self-destruction of her species firsthand? I considered asking her these questions when we first met, but given her personality, I thought better of it. I think I'll just leave her alone to work on her sculptures.
Nicole is now a human. This is odd given when we last saw Nicole, it was in the Nod Cry teaser, and she most certainly does not have a human form, but some sort of upgraded Seelie form. So when did Nicole become a human? And more importantly, how? For Nicole to have changed her appearance, she somehow would have had to have broken the curse placed on the Seelie race by the Heavenly Principles, but again, how? Now, it's worth pointing out, she wouldn't be the first to go from Seelie to human, as Nabu Malikata just, I guess, did this fucking verbatim. How she did it is also a mystery. But hey, at least she was a god. I know, but still, it begs the question, I mean, how the fuck are all you bitch-ass angels beating the curses levied unto you by the king of the gods? There's really nowhere else to go with this. The answer to the question remains blows. Close. The third greatest mystery amongst the bullfrogs, what really happened between Rhinedottir and Naberius. While it's clear the two are merged as a result of Rhinedottir devouring Naberius, how exactly did this happen? Neither sounds especially upset by their current situation, and Naberius herself described it as a merging. However, Naberius states she is the one with lesser agency and questions why Rhinedottir uses her power as if it were nothing but a toy. What's more, Rhinedottir herself pokes fun at the situation, remarking Asmoday switching sides would certainly be better than being devoured. What makes this entire situation odd is the fact that Istaroth and Renova have seemingly accepted Rhinedottir amongst their ranks with little to no qualms, which makes one wonder if Rhinedottir devouring Naberius was somehow to Naberius' benefit rather than a forced event. Rhinedottir still willingly assumed the duty of the Shade of Life, showing up to the meeting, and even amidst Naberius' nagging does bother her, all things she might not have had to put up with if consuming Naberius was purely self-service. In any case, whether the other shades knew of the merging of Rhinedottir and Naberius in advance, if Rhinedottir is playing Naberius, or if Naberius is playing Rhinedottir, all remains blows. Close. The 27th greatest mystery in human history. How did Alice gain the role of the sustainer of Teyvat's borders? We've long known Alice is the one who upkeeps Teyvat's borders, as she quite literally just tells Klee, quotes, "Teyvat's borders have grown fragile these past 2 years. Looks like Mommy's going to have to get busy." And more recently, Skirk reaffirmed this by stating Alice is the sustainer of this world's borders.
As the sustainer of the world's borders, she tolerates my presence. But she did make me promise not to interfere too much with this world's affairs.
When Skirk came through, she had to answer to Alice, who let her through, as long as Skirk agreed to a couple of things, stay the fuck out the way, bitch. That's pretty much all she had to agree to. But this is all strange, given the border was put in place by the Heavenly Principle, so how did Alice come to attain the duty of sustaining these borders? Someone gave her this job. They tasked her with it, and these aren't my words, they're hers.
The world of Teyvat has its own rules. They aren't perfect, though, and in some cases they are as delicate and fragile as the human heart. That's why I've been tasked with the job I have now, a job which gives me certain special privileges. I'm someone who likes having the freedom to live their own life, but I don't mind this job. It gives me the chance to see this world and everything that lives in it from a lot of different perspectives.
There are maybe 5 individuals in all of Teyvat who could have given Alice this role, but of those, only one of those individuals, the Heavenly Principles, would even have the authority to delegate this world's protection to someone else. But the question is, why? How? When? What is the extent of Alice's relationship with Celestia? The answer to that question remains blows. Blows. The first greatest mystery in human history. Where is our beloved sustainer of heavenly principles? Why is she missing? She's most recently missed a meeting that all the other shades attended. She was last seen at a cross between the twins' memories, overhearing their conversation to perhaps report back to her new master.
We are shades, shadows of the heavenly principles. It's unthinkable, unless she loves her new master more than her own self.
Now, who that new master is, we don't know, but to Istaroth it's possible Asmoday has switched sides. While it's not clear to us who the new master is, the other shades seem to at least be aware of their existence, considering they're the ones who brought it up. Some commies among us wish to state Asmoday as Paimon, and the new master the Traveler, Please point these individuals out to me so that I may report them to the House Uncelestia Activities Committee. McCarthyism will lead us forward and away from these dangerous thoughts. It has never failed. As a matter of fact, this question doesn't even deserve to be on this list. Asmoday has not betrayed the Heavenly Principles. She's here, aware, and ready to fight, and that's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. No clues. This one is solved.